Management Institute presents to you today's session, which is basically based on the last session that we have last Friday on the first unit of this diploma on sustainability and environmental management. The basic title of the unit was Fundamentals of Sustainability. And today's session is basically a connected session in which we will be talking about how the report and the assessment that you have related to the unit can be attempted. My task basically is to make it easier for you to attempt that assessment, to break down the little details, and to also clarify and clarify any confusion that you might have. So we will be talking about how that assessment can be attempted in the best possible manner. I'm here to help. So first of all, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. When we talk about the title of the unit, which is Fundamentals of Sustainability, it becomes clear to us that the first unit of this diploma is obviously talking about the basics and the primary features of sustainability. Since we're just at the beginning, we want to understand the basic concepts so that the concept of sustainability is clear, and the next road that we have towards understanding sustainability and sustainable development and environmental management, it becomes easier. So first of all, we will talk about the different aims that this unit number one has. So this unit has been made with this aim that we need to talk about sustainability. Obviously, first of all, sustainability will be talked about in detail, followed by how the concept of resilience is attached to it. Resilience when it comes to the resilience done by the environment and the atmosphere around us. And then, not just that, because we know that sustainability is a concept with three bases. Sustainability is a concept that talks about economy, it talks about society, and then it also basically talks about the environment. So we will be taking into account the business growth as well. So we will be talking about a number of businesses on which different impacts related to environment are happening, and how those businesses can become more sustainable over time. Also, obviously, when we talk about the second aspect related to sustainability, we will be taking into account social responsibility as well. And then we will not be forgetting about international collaboration, and we will say how different concepts related to sustainability are not just limited to one country, one nation, one organization, or one continent. However, sustainability is a concept. It is a development that is there globally, and it needs to be dealt with internationally. And we need to join hands internationally in order to deal with this matter. And then how the different environmental challenges that we have at our hands nowadays can be tackled, can be dealt with in a better way, and how the solutions can be found. And then the different behaviors and lifestyles and the kinds of activities that we have on a daily basis, on a regular basis in our lives, can be managed, can be promoted, can be made better, can be improved in relation to sustainability so that our entire lives can become more sustainable. So we talked about the unit number one and the aims that it has. So in short, we can say that we will be talking about sustainability and how different aspects are just revolving around us and are in connection with that. And then when we talk about unit number one, we will see the learning outcomes that it has. It will be considered that the student or the participant, whoever is attending this diploma, after attending the unit one session or learning the unit number one, what are the outcomes that it will have? What are the different concepts that will most probably be clear in the mind of that student, and what are the different concepts that will most probably be clear in the mind of that student? So first of all, we will obviously be talking about how sustainability impacts them, how those matters are impacting the concept of sustainability and how we need to have better sustainable development and better approaches in order to have a more inclusive and a more positive future for all of us. And then the problems and environmental challenges that are really severe, especially when we talk about climate change, really severe and need to be dealt really quickly, because we don't have any more time, because we actually are getting shorter time, because of this, the sustainable development goals that we set were for the year 2030, and we have already entered, or basically we have almost gone halfway through 2024. So we are getting pretty clear to that. We used to say back in university when we learned about sustainable development and sustainable development goals and SDGs that 2030 is pretty far away. However, since the time is literally flying, we cannot say that these goals are far, and the applicability and the implementation that we wanted for these goals is pretty serious nowadays. So we need to have an urgent action now. We are on the verge of depletion of environmental resources, and they're happening at a very, very fast rate. Therefore, we need to urgently and promptly and quickly deal with these climate change and biodiversity and other very serious environmental challenges. Another learning outcome is that the students will be able to understand how different private enterprises, especially private enterprises, can have innovation, research, and development, and they can have better sustainable practices and procedures and mechanisms and systems thinking, so that our road to transition to sustainability becomes smoother, and this dream that we have of having a better sustainable future for the coming generations becomes in real time. And then when we talk about another learning outcome, it will be that after learning this unit, you will learn different global initiatives that we have had in the last few decades, such as Kyoto Protocol, and of course the Sustainable Development Goals and SDGs that we call it. So different global initiatives that have been there in the past few years and past few decades that have been implemented. A few of them have been successful. Many of them most probably have not been very successful because of obvious reasons. And then different treaties that we are having, the treaties that will be signed in the future, and how different international, local, as well as global organizations are playing their part in promoting sustainability. Another learning outcome is that the students will be able to understand how the business practices that we have can be promoted in an ethical and sustainable manner. This means that since most of you are professionals and most of you belong to different types of businesses and are working in professional life, you need to understand how business ethics are very, very important in order to have better business activities. And then when we talk about this assignment, it basically starts in this way. I will show you the assignment too. Okay, so if it is possible for you, are you guys with me? I'm doubtful if
Yes.
you're not able.
Yes, yes, yes,
Okay.
yes, yes. You are audible and we are with you.
Okay, Alhamdulillah. So, okay, so when we look at this tab in which I have opened our assessment for the unit number 1, we see different unit aims that this has. I have covered the aims of this unit in the previous slide. And then when we move on to the learning outcomes, we see that the learning outcomes have also been covered, in which we talked about how economy will be covered, how businesses will be covered, how global treaties and initiatives will be seen, and you will be able to learn all of these things. Afterwards, we move to the assessment. We see that we have been provided a scenario here on page number 6 of this brief that has been provided to you. Okay, so the scenario says that this is a sustainability campaign. So for us, imagine that you are having a sustainability campaign, and the role that you have is of a sustainability consultant. Who are you? A sustainability consultant, right? Now, going back to the slide, so I have the scenario pasted here. So you are a sustainability consultant. Who hired you? The World Trade Organization hired you. And most of the times, these are external. A lot of times they're also internal, but a lot of times they're also external. They are hired for a specific program or a specific short-term project, or any types of programs. So in this case, the World Trade Organization has hired you as a sustainability consultant, and it wants you to write a sustainability report. The WTO wants you to work on creation of a sustainability report for it. So the organization is asking you to prepare a sustainability report on its behalf. Now, what will you have to do in that sustainability report? So the sustainability report will require you to work on any one of the sustainable development goals. Oh, how many sustainable development goals are there?
17.
No.
17. Yes. So out of the 17 sustainable development goals, we are required to work on only one. We're not required to work on two, three, or more. No. We are only required to consider one out of these 17 SDGs. And the reason why we need only one SDG will be explored later. So your task is that you will have to make a very comprehensive, very brief, and a very nicely put sustainability report in which, for the management team, you will outline different types of sustainability strategies, different types of initiatives, different types of programs, different types of changes and improvements that this organization, WTO, can have, so that when it wants to achieve 17 sustainable development goals, it can be more specific and be very specific with one of the goal and achieve it in real time and very quickly, even before 2030, so that it can ensure that it is working for the planet. So WTO, apparently, when we talk about this scenario, is a very environmentally concerned organization. Therefore, it has hired you. The management team of the organization wants you to write a sustainability report in which you will have any one of the SDGs covered, and you will compile a sustainability report. So we don't have 17 sustainable development goals provided for this assessment. We only have 6 out of those 17 provided. And out of these 6, we will have to choose only one. Okay, so it's up to you. Which one do you want to choose? So I'll be taking one of these for example. So I'll be taking this second last one, which is life below water, for example, so that I'm able to explain it for you. And then when you look at the assessment, you are provided these links here under the scenario, which say that if you want to learn how WTO actually in real time is working on sustainable development goals and how its activities are going on in the same direction for SDGs, so you can go on these links and you will be able to explore and understand better. For example, when I go on one of these links, we see that WTO is working for all the 17 goals. As you see, all the 17 goals have been covered. So these are like really nice and really brief headings in which, for example, for the first SDG, which is no poverty, we are told how World Trade Organization wants to work towards the elimination of poverty and hunger and other problems in the world globally, and how it is working for that. So when we look at the SDG number 1, we will see that it is working towards policy initiatives when it comes to trade, because since obviously it is a trade organization, so main focus will be on trade. So it is having various trade policy initiatives, and it is having various activities for better living, for lesser poverty. It is trying to have better productivity. It is trying to have better living standard for every citizen on the planet Earth. And it is also trying that the prices and the consumption patterns in the markets all over the world are becoming better, because obviously when there's inflation, when there are spiked prices of products, people are not able to avail them, hence resulting in poverty. So there are different trade and markets and business patterns for which WTO is working. And then we also have all of these SDGs here for which it's working in different capacities. We can explore those and we can see how it is being done. So the one that I have chosen to explain to you as an example is life below water. So this SDG number 14 shows that, obviously, first of all, as you see the icon, we have fish and we have water symbol provided. So the fisheries is a very important aspect when we talk about the life below water, when we talk about the seas and oceans, when we talk about rivers and water. So fisheries is very important. And also when we connect fisheries to trade, we see that because of excessive fishery, because of excessive obtainment of fish, and because of excessive trading of fish, it is resulting in the population of fish to be decreased, and also it is also resulting in different unequal patterns. For example, a few places there are almost very little population of fisheries left, and at another place the population is huge. So it is going on in a very unequal manner. And then the members related to the World Trade Organization are working continuously on this in a technical manner, to talk with trade organizations, to talk to fisheries organization, and to talk to organizations that are basically working related to the marine life, to have a better sustainable life below water. So this is how you will be choosing any one of the SDGs. Okay, now this might come to your mind how you will be having this one SDG and you will be applying it to all the questions that you will be having, all the headings that you will have to make. So I will be explaining that too. And the next, okay, so we say that we are asked to make a sustainability report. So, has any one of you ever heard of a sustainability report or created one, or maybe become a participant in the process? Luckily, because obviously we keep preparing different types of reports, but have you ever heard of a sustainability report?
Yes.
Would you like to explain, sir?
Actually, we are running a operation of Telnor in Pakistan. I am working in Nokia. So here,
Yes.
in sustainability chapter, we cover the environmental related issues, the legal compliance of social security, like minimum wage limits and working hours, overtimes, vacations, and the facilities like medicals. And the third thing is
Okay.
about the it's about the network. Sorry, I forgot the third point. So the three things we are covering in our sustainability report annually, and it is being published on website and other forums as well.
Is it published annually?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So, what I gather from your explanation is that you are focusing on social points and environmental points and economic points at the same time when it comes to your organization, Nokia, right?
Yes. Yes.
This is how it works, obviously. So thank you so much, sir. Okay, so I will be telling you how a sustainability report is written and why a sustainability report is required and why are organizations indulging in this process. So as we know, we are working as a sustainability consultant for WTO. We want to see why it wants to have a sustainability report written. So WTO wants that it needs to have immediate action. As I said, it needs to have urgent action on a prompt basis, and needs to have corporate changes in it. So WTO wants that on the basis of the business that it has, the corporate environment that it has, the corporate working that it has, it wants to urgently work towards the attainment of sustainable development goals, and thus it is having a sustainability report written. Number two, it says that sustainability report is very important because it is like a move, it is like a decision, it is like a perfect opportunity for you to work in a strategic manner, and to work in a very strategic and imperative and important manner to address climate change. So it is like one of the best opportunities that you have at your hand in order to show how sustainability can be achieved and how, and it can also be gathering different points that can be used for the organization to move towards sustainability. And number three, WTO wants that it wants to make it clear for the stakeholders that are working with it that WTO is an organization which is working with a different perspective, and it is trying to managing different factors related to the environment. So it is not just one of those organizations that is trying to earn the maximum profit. It is also trying to earn the greatest benefit when it comes to the environment. So it wants to see how the different risks related to the environment connected to the business can be handled in a perfect manner. So it also wants that an inclusive future for all the people around the world can be ensured. As we know that WTO is an organization that is working in almost all countries of the world, whether developed countries, whether underdeveloped countries. It also works in Pakistan. So it wants that through activities that it has, it wants that through initiatives that it has, the projects that it has, the programs that it has, it wants to have a better, more inclusive future, a future that ensures the betterment, well-being and goodness of every single human being, and also other beings such as the animals and other flora and fauna. So it also wants that sustainability report can be published from time to time. As Sir Mohsin said, that Nokia publishes its sustainability report annually. So organizations can choose to have it published bi-monthly, or maybe biannually, 2 times in a year, and it depends on the organization. So the organization can use a sustainability report as an amazing way of measuring their success. And which sort of a success? No, we're not talking about the economic success only. We're not talking about how much profit gain was achieved this year. We want to talk about the environmental success and sustainable development success that it has achieved through the years. So overall performance of the organization can be calculated and measured, and it can be observed through a sustainability report. Okay, so when as a student you are working on a sustainability report and you want to write a sustainability report, because we know that any report or essay or any assignment that we work on has a specific format, and there's a specific manner, there's a specific way of working on it. And if you work in a flow, if you work in a process way manner, it works in the best possible way. So for writing sustainability report, it is very important that you choose an SDG. So I think we're already done with the first point, which is choose an SDG. We have chosen an SDG potentially, because I chose, for example, the SDG that says life below water. You could be choosing any one of that, though that completely depends on you. So after you are done choosing the SDG, and you will choose that SDG that aligns with the targets and indicators that you have. So every organization has a different atmosphere. Every organization has different objectives and goals and targets set for it. Some of them obviously could be common, but most of them are different for different organizations. So different indicators that you have, different targets that you have set for yourself. According to those targets, your SDG will be chosen. So you cannot be all together and collectively at the same time working on all the 17 SDGs. This becomes very difficult. So it is best to choose on one SDG, to take one SDG at a time, and then work on the next SDG. Okay. So as we say, the WTO is working on all the 17 SDGs, but it is also clear through the research that I've done on them that they take 1, 2, 3, or maybe 4 SDGs at the same time, and they publish reports on that. They publish how much success they had on those SDGs, and then they move on to other SDGs. So it becomes very overwhelming for an organization or whoever is working for the organization to work on all the SDGs at the same time. Obviously it sounds difficult. It obviously sounds difficult for human beings to achieve. So for writing a sustainability report, you are done with choosing an SDG. Then you will be moving on to considering the different impacts, risks, and opportunities that are there for the stakeholders. So again, that SDG will be considered, that you considered and chose and picked picked based on the relevance it had for your organization. And then you would also see the impacts that SDG and working on it will have on the organization that you have, and what sort of risks might come your way, what sort of opportunities that you will be seeing, and how the stakeholders that you have in your organization will be behaving to, or what sort of an attitude they will be having towards the working that you have. And then you will also see the goals and opportunities that you have and how those will be achieved. And it is very, very important that you set smart goals for yourself. You don't have to act in a super heroic manner. You need to have achievable, smart, and measurable and small goals that are, even though they are small, but they're achievable. Even though they are small, they are related to you, so that your work so that your work looks like actually something has been done. Okay, so after that, we talk about why SDGs are included in a sustainability report. Because when people, your stakeholders, the people of the community, and the investors and other people say that the organization is working on a sustainability report and it is having a clear and solid working on SDGs, it will have a better reputation. Your organization will have a better reputation, and it will also be able to earn the trust of the people around you. And then you would also observe, even though this specific factor will be really slow, it might also be very, very unfortunate, and it might also be very difficult for you to achieve. You might also go sad at times, but the efficiency and profitability that you will have in the long term will be increased, because the efficiency and profitability that you will have in the long term will be increased because you started investing in sustainability. As I said, it could be baby steps that you will be taking. You will have to go a long, long way. The process could be very difficult. It might also be full of risks and difficulties for you. But once you are very close to the goal that you have, you will notice that the benefits, efficiency, and profitability that you earned was definitely worth it. And then we talk about how, because of working on SDGs, the environmental risks and costs can be reduced. Okay, so we're taking a 5 minutes break because we're having the on here in Pindi. Okay, so we are back. Okay, so we were talking about the benefits of having SDGs included in your sustainability report. And we said that as you start working on the SDGs, you will see that your reputation and trust level that you have in the society and in the business sector will be increased. You will be earning better profits in the long run, and your efficiency will also be increased. In addition to that, the environmental risks and costs that your organization was having in the past can be decreased potentially. And also, the next point is that you will be having better innovation and growth. And that innovation and growth, that research and development will be in alignment with sustainable development goals. And that will be the biggest benefit for you. And then it would also show how how your business is not just working for monetary gains, but it is also keeping people over money. Assalamu alaikum. So I experienced. Okay, so getting back to the slide. Okay, so we say that we are working on only one SDG because it might be very difficult to work on 17 goals, because they also have 169 targets with them. And if we want to work on all the 17 goals, it might get very difficult and very tough for our organization. And thus, it also might lead to desensitization. Desensitization means that it would be difficult for the people to understand what we are working on, for the stakeholders to understand, and for also the organization to work in the best efficient manner, because we just don't want to work on it. We want to work in the best possible manner for the attainment of our SDGs. So we don't want that our stakeholders are burdened so much and they are provided with so much information that they become overwhelmed with information, that they become desensitized, that, I mean, this becomes a regular thing for them, this becomes a daily fatigue for them, and then they consider this as some as kind of a burden for them. So we want to work in a very light and a very nice manner, and we need to have the most efficient working towards the attainment of our sustainable development goals. Therefore, our sustainability report will look like the best when it has only one SDG, and that SDG is focused from every single aspect, and all the focus is on it. And then the scalability issues might be there. This means that the scale of the organization that you have is very, very important when it comes to talking about the SDGs. For example, if you have an organization as big as the UN, when you have an organization as big as the World Trade Organization, it might be easier for you to work on a couple of goals together collectively. However, when you are a very small organization, you are on a very initial level, then it is the most difficult for you to work on all the SDGs together. Therefore, it can be said that all SDGs need to be considered. However, one will be focused primarily so that the working is there in the best possible way. And then, how many SDGs do we have? We said we have 17 sustainable development goals. And then we said that we only have six to seven sustainable development goals that we have been provided for this assignment, out of which we will have to choose only one. So, for example, when we choose life below water, we will be having this single aspect in every single heading, so that it is clear how World Trade Organization is working in different aspects related to the environment. However, the impact of that is related to this single SDG. So you don't have to forget about the SDG that you chose. So I think you will be gaining the maximum amount of marks when it is clear that you chose the right SDG, and the SDG that you chose is there with you throughout the assessment until you reach the conclusion. So how you will have this sustainability report? First of all, you can have a nicely put table of contents, after which you can have an abstract, completely up to you. You can also have a summary at the start, in the form of a introduction. The introduction could be a little long, but it shouldn't be like very, very long. You can have an introduction of how you are working on this specific SDG and how this SDG will be considered throughout the sustainability report, how you are a sustainability consultant, what are the basic factors that you want to consider, and so on. So a nicely put in introduction will obviously be able to lay a very nice foundation to your sustainability report, so that the marker is obviously able to understand that you are clear of the goals and aims that you have for this assignment, and the scenario that has been provided has been understood. Afterwards, we are going to talk about every single heading one by one in a very brief manner. I wouldn't obviously want to go in a lot of detail because it's definitely your part. You have to work on those, but I will definitely be trying to clarify things for you, to tell how you can have it in different headings, how the differentiation can be done, how the attainment of your goals related to the assignment can be done. So first of all, when we talk about, okay, so before we start with the first question, I would want you guys to participate a little, and I want any one of you to please summarize for me what I talked about until now and what a sustainability report is. Do you think I have made any sense until now? Please let me know. Anybody? Because apparently I have 9 participants. So I want any one of you to please come forward and let me know what you understood. Did you understood anything at all? Anybody? So should I start calling names? I think that will be more convenient. So we have Sir Imran and Abdul Tawab Afridi. Would you guys, both of you, any one of you? Okay. Sir Zahid Mahmood, are you there? Um, okay, so Sir Muhammad Khalid, can you please participate? नो प्रेशर्स आप किसी भी तरीके से कोई भी बताना चाहे यू कैन टेल कि हमने क्या अभी तक बात की और इस असाइनमेंट में क्या होने जा रहा है यू नो जहाँ तक अभी बात हुई है okay so apparently no one is ready to participate Sarasad Malik would you okay this looks like a really quiet here okay so I think I'll have to be the one talking and talking so I'll continue okay. So, first of all, when we talk about the first question that you have in your assignment, going back to the tab in which I have the assignment opened, first of all, we talked about the scenario that has been provided, um, and then different types of goals that you have related to that. And then, so we have a few questions about it. First of all, we have this question that you can see on the screen. It is, so the first question is, describe the most used definition of sustainability and social responsibility. Okay, so as we are beginning with the concept of sustainability, so I think this is the very, very initial and very primary question, which is that you are asked to talk about sustainability, and you will also be giving the most used definition. And then I would also like to recommend that whenever you have to provide a definition of any concept in your assessments, based on the level that you guys have, it is very, very important that you take those definitions from really trusted sources. And it is also the best practice when you take those definitions from some really renowned and famous international organizations, such as, for example, when you provide the definition from UNDP, it will be best. When you provide the definition from organizations such as UNESCO, for example. So the definition, when it has been provided based on the sources that you took from a very renowned organization, will be considered the best, and you will be getting better marks. And then, okay, so we are told to talk about sustainability and then differentiate between sustainability and corporate social responsibility. So as we know, sustainability is a concept that has three main foundations, which are social, environmental, and economic. And even when one of these is not there, our sustainability building cannot stay. When the foundation is not strong, the concept cannot be strong. As you can see at the left side of the slide, you can see that it is kind of one circle is overlapping the other is overlapping the third, and all of these together are resulting in the attainment of sustainability. And then, talking about corporate social responsibility, we say that corporate social responsibility, as we understand from the title, corporate social responsibility, that it talks about social aspects mainly, but it does not only talk about social aspects. It has ethical aspects, it has sustainable aspects. It talks about the environment, how different resources related to the environment can be preserved, how the resources that are going to end in a few years, the non renewable resources, can be preserved, and so on. So you will see that even though both of these look like some really, really same concepts, these are not. Now it is up to you to differentiate between the two. And when you're differentiating the concepts, I would really like to suggest to always use a tabulated way, because I think I prefer it over anything else. Because when you have your differences in a tabulated manner, the one that we've been doing since our childhood, I think it looks amazing because the points become clearer for you. For example, the tabulated manner that we have here, we see that sustainability and CSR are two different concepts. For example, we see that CSR talks about society and it talks about its stakeholders. However, sustainability not just talks about society, it also talks about environment, economy, social factors, and every single important factors related to the business operation. Also, in the second point, we see in the second row, we see that philanthropy and employee volunteering and community engagement are some important aspects that are related to CR. We say that when organizations want to consider their corporate social responsibility, they say that we want to work for the betterment of the society. We want to work for the betterment of the different segments of the society. For example, they want to work for the betterment of the poor people. They want to work for the betterment of those employees that are not on a very big level. So they also want to work for voluntary activities. For example, they will be participating in helping the poor and the elderly and other organizations. Sustainability, on the other side, talks about sustainable business practices that have social as well as environmental impact. And then CSR and sustainability have this one huge difference. It is that sustainable CSR is a short term concept, while sustainability goes a long way. It is a long term concept. The next question that we have is, what are the tragedies of the commons and why sustainability must be approached at a systematic level for WTO? So, we are being asked in this question to tell the definition or the explanation of what the tragedies of the common is. So, we will tell how this concept can be explained. So, when we talk about this concept, tragedies of the common, this is a very important concept in environmental economics and environmental sciences, which says that when a lot of individuals have the access to a common resource, to a common resource means a resource that is shared, a resource that is being used by a number of individuals, they might be acting in a self-interesting manner. This means that they might get selfish, that this means that they will be leaving nothing for the rest of the individuals, resulting in the depletion or resulting in the finishing of these resources because it was a common good. For example, this air that we are breathing, this water that we are having in the world, this beautiful land that we have on the earth, this atmosphere that we have, the climate that has been provided to us, all of these are not just ours. I cannot call myself an owner of it solely. However, there are so many people that are sharing this. The entire civilization on the planet earth is taking benefit from the air that has been provided. So we say, for example, looking at this picture at the bottom of the slide, we see that there is this grazing land. Okay, so there is this part of the grazing land, and we just have a few goats on it. This means that this grazing land, which is full of grass and is pretty green and vegetative, we say that So we learn from this example that the way different resources are being used is very important for the sustainability of those resources. If those resources are not used in a sustainable manner, this might result in the depletion of these resources, such like we observe in today's world. There's so much pollution, there are problems occurring with water availability, there are problems occurring with everything around us, because the human beings, the way they used these resources was not sustainable. Okay, the next thing is, um, the next thing is how there are different life examples of the tragedies of the commons. This means that, for example, we observed uh, during the epidemic of COVID-19 that there was problem with the availability of different goods at the grocery store. For example, we see that in Pakistan, some of the medicines got really rare. There was a shortage of different medicines, and then we observe in this picture, there is that there is shortage of availability of different goods at the grocery stores, and people almost finished everything. There was a shortage of milk, there was shortage of oatmeal, there was shortage of bread and so many other medicines, because people, all of them, consumed those resources in such a way that they were piling up things in their homes, because they were like, this COVID-19 might not come to end very soon, so that we need to have these resources piled up at our homes. However, they were not considering the people, other people might not also be getting advantage of those things. Number two, when we talk about the water availability, as water is being taken out of the earth at a very great level, as the population is increasing in countries like Pakistan also, the availability of fresh water, the availability of water for you to drink, for you to consume, is decreasing because it is not being consumed positively. And then when there is so much traffic, when there is presence of so many cars on the same highway, this might result in lesser availability for the cars to move in a nice way, and then it also results in congestion and rush. And then plastic pollution, especially the marine pollution, is leading to problems not just for the marine life, it is also causing problems for the land, causing pollution, causing problems like cancer, causing the death of so many animals, causing biodiversity issues. And then as a result of unsustainable fisheries, unsustainable fishing, the population of fish is being impacted. The next concept is systematic sustainability. So we say that sustainability needs to be very systematic. It needs to have a systems process. This means that the technical aspects, the human aspects, the social aspects, the real practice, the work practice, and innovation, research and development needs to be considered in a very nice way, so that the sustainability that we have is not haphazard. It is rather systematic, and it is in a very nice procedural manner. Okay. Okay, so the next question that you will be seeing in the assignment, let me open that tab. Okay, so the next question will be, it's here. So we will be talking about the 9 planetary boundaries and the meanings of systems resilience. So you are asked to tell what different 9 planetary boundaries are and how systems resilience can be achieved. So it was basically proposed by one individual from an organization that said that there are 9 planetary boundaries, such as the climate, such as the biodiversity, such as the availability of oceans, and so many things. So as a result of this, the human activities, the anthropogenic activities, in a sustainable manner, it has resulted in the impact on every single one of these planetary boundaries. The climate change is being impacted, the introduction of novel entities has happened. Now, what do we mean by novel entities? It means that, for example, because of introduction of a number of new and artificial and synthetic things in the earth, problems are occurring, such as we have developed a number of chemicals. we have innovated a number of processes. We have innovated a number of radioactive things. We have innovated plastic, and we have innovated so many things that were not there naturally. As a result, the environment is being impacted. So as you see, this circle basically shows the 9 boundaries, and this basically, the colors show that the purple colors show that these have been impacted the most. So when we talk about the introduction of novel entities, this one has been impacted the most. The next question talks about different ecosystem services and their relationships in with organizations, products, services, and human needs. So we will say that the nature is obviously providing a number of services to us. It is also providing a number of benefits for us. So for example, we are provided medicine because of the plants that we have. We are provided food from the plants and other sources. So the organizations can be using those benefits for the creation of different products, different services, and they can also be benefiting the humans and will be providing for their needs. The next thing is that we are talking about this really painful aspect which all of us are aware of, which is that the availability of actions, how the governments are working, how different governmental agencies are working is not sufficient. I don't think I need to say anything on this, because the social challenges that we have, the environmental challenges that we have, the economic challenges that we have are not being tackled in the best manner, such that it in the way that it had to be handled. Okay, the next question is how externalities need to be tackled. So the term externalities means that, for example, you do one activity and you think that this activity is only beneficial or only dangerous for me, but you don't know this, that this activity is not just having an impact on you, rather it is having an impact on third parties also. For example, according to this example, if one person is driving a car, if that person is going to work on that car, he thinks that I am the one who has to pay a price for it, I have to buy petrol for it, I had to buy this car, and I am the one who's being impacted because of it only. It's just between me and this car. However, this is not the case. The different impacts of that car are there on all the other people also, on the third parties also. For example, the pollution that your car will be creating, or the car might bump into other cars, leading to accidents, and then because of the availability of your car on the roads, this might result in congestion on the roads. And then we take on the next question, which is how industries are causing industries are causing climate change. Industries are causing environmental degradation, and which industries are causing that problems. We noted that industries related to energy and transport and manufacturing and construction are the ones that are impacting the environment the most, and these are the ones that need to be dealt with. Okay, and then we talked about the next question, which is private enterprises and innovation. How private enterprises can be playing their role for better sustainability. They can have a better systems approach. They need to have an entire circle of sustainable living, and their collaboration and working will be should be in such a manner that there is a common working platform for every organization, so that the private enterprises can be earning investors, and they can also be earning the maximum benefit when it comes to the environment, and also acting as the best people, best organizations for the environment. And then we talk about how the triple bottom line. So Ms. Aisha Arif in the last session talked about the triple bottom line, which means the three bottom approaches are very important for sustainability. And I also talked about this too, that we talk about the society, the people, and the environment, which can also be called in different terms as the people, the profit, and the planet, and how all of these need to work together globally to have better sustainability. And then sustainability issues present. Okay, so this is very important. It says that sustainability shouldn't only be considered as a risk. A lot of organizations are scared of implementing sustainability because they think that they will have to put a lot of cost, and they will have to put a lot of new initiatives for this. However, sustainability is also an opportunity. So there's this example of Tesla here, that because the gasoline based engines and the petrol based engines are being considered as the huge pollutants, therefore Tesla introduced these electrically charged vehicles, these electric vehicles, and then people saw those vehicles and they thought that, wow, this is so friendly for the planet, and thus the sales of their electric vehicles are boosting overall the world. Therefore, Tesla basically learned that sustainability is an opportunity for them, and they seized that opportunity in the best way. The marketing and sales is boosting nowadays. So when we talk about the next thing, which is how international institutions, international initiatives, and different treaties can be there. So there are different kinds of treaties such as Kyoto Protocol, the Paris Agreement, the Montreal Protocol, but safe to say that none of this has been able to lead to the attainment of goals just the way it should have. So when there are three questions that are almost the same, I have put those together. In the next assignment, in the next question, we will see how all of these three questions will talk about business ethics and ethical culture one way or another. And this flow chart here will be able to explain that to you. So we say that when we have a corporate governance structure, when we have a corporate organization which is working for the attainment of its corporate goals, and then together with its legal goals, it also fulfills its legal responsibility. And then moving on, it fulfills its financial responsibilities, its social responsibilities, and also its environmental responsibility. Only then it will be easier for us to say that this organization, this corporate structure, is now a sustainable structure, or is at least working for sustainability in whatever capacity that they could have. So we are done with the questions, so headings that you will be having in this assessment. And then we will see that we will have 4,500 words. You will have to write 4,500 words. You can have different references. The references will be in Harvard style, and you can have diagrams, you can have photo images, you can have different types of figures added, and it will be best when your assignment has different sections, it has different headings, it is not in the form of a monotonous passage. Rather, it has different headings that are there, so that when one person observes the heading, in the very first glance, in the very first look, that person is able to understand that yes, you have put some effort, and that yes, you have been able to classify, to categorize, to divide your portion into different types of headings. And there has to be a very nice flow and connection between different parts, and your assignment should also be brief. I understand that these are 4,500 words, but this is also very important that your assignment is easy to understand, it is also brief, it is to the point and comprehensive. Good luck with the assignment. And good luck with the assignment. And do you guys, any one of you has any questions? Please go ahead, because this was an assignment related session. Because I mean, you guys must have confusions related to this. Go ahead. I'm waiting. Please ask me something. I don't mind.
Actually, I was not unmuting my mic because I was the only one who is.
So Mohsen, are you trying to say something? I cannot hear
Okay,
you.
sorry. I was just.
I
I
cannot.
intentionally was not unmuting my mic because I want other to participate in it. So still nobody wants to
Okay, please.
participate. I have to unmute. So the thing is that actually we need to first we need to go through the assignment brief. You explained it well
Okay.
in a very detailed manners, and hopefully you will share these slides with us as well. So we will go through those slides as well. But before going through the assignment brief and trying to do something, we cannot ask questions about it. Actually, what I can ask here, how many words I need to mention there, how many sections are there. But I think these are not the questions for this level. I am not going to ask this to
Okay.
in this session. So actually, you are explaining it well. Whenever I will start working on it, if I will feel anything that is not clear to me, not I am and I cannot apprehend properly, then I will come back to you. I will try to contact you. Then we will can ask the proper
Okay.
questions. Thank you.
Yes, I understand. You have this amazing suggestion here because yes, I understand that you guys have already not, gone through the assignment, obviously. But once you will start going through it, inshallah, I'm hopeful, very, very hopeful that the explanation that I provided will be helpful for you. Let's hope and fingers crossed. Um, okay. Anybody
Thank
else?
you. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Always welcome. Anybody, please speak up. And yes, if you have any help, any queries, if you need any help, if you have any queries, anybody who wants to ask any question, you can always drop by those questions in the group. Feel free. It could be something as simple as anything. Even, considering the level that you guys are at, it's completely fine. Anybody could have confusions. So when you start working on the assignment, please drop by any questions that you have in the group, and inshallah, I will be helping you with that. Yeah, and the reason why I went into a lot of detail was again to make it as easier for you as possible and to break down everything into detail so you can, ask any questions that you want, and I will be guiding you through it in whatever capacity that I have. So I think this is it. So thank you so much for attending, all of you. Thank you so much for being there throughout this time, and I'll be signing off now. This is Aisha Sajjad. Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz. Take care.
Allah Hafiz.